What is Worth Teaching by John Stonecker. A story slash quote that I found within the teachings of the Presidents of the Church, Howard W. Hunter, Chapter 22, Teaching the Gospel. It was on a summer day early in the morning. I was standing near the window. The curtains obstructed me from two little creatures out on the lawn. One was a large bird, the other a little bird, obviously just out of the nest. I saw the larger bird hop out on the lawn, then thump his feet, and cock his head. He drew a big fat worm out of the lawn and came hopping back. The little bird opened its bill wide, but the big bird swallowed the worm. Then I saw the big bird fly up into a tree. He pecked at the bark for a little while and came back with a big bug in his mouth. The little bird opened his beak again wide, but the big bird swallowed the bug. There was squawking in protest. The big bird flew away, and I didn't see it again. But I watched the little bird. After a while, the little bird hopped out on the lawn, thumped its feet, cocked its head, and pulled a big worm out of the lawn. Uh, a post to the question by one of our classmates, Megan Jean. Sorry for the pronouncing. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. One of the talks I listened to during General Conference I felt depicts this very well. It is by Elder W. Mark Bassett and is called For Our Spiritual Development and Learning. In his talk, Elder Bassett states that through the Holy Ghost we can know the truth of all things, while deciding what to teach really comes down to what you feel is most important for your students to learn. Remember that the Holy Ghost is always there to lead and guide you to know what you should be teaching your students. Out of the perspective in the history and prophecy of education, how Gertrude teaches her children by Jonah Pestalozzi. Learn through therefore to classify observations and complete the simple before proceeding to the complex. Again, bring all things, essentially related to each other, to that connection in your mind, which they have in nature. Strengthen and make clear the impressions of important objects, by bringing them nearer to you by the art and letting them affect you through different senses. In a search I did in the David O. McKay Library, I found Education for Thinking by Deanna Kuhn, bringing insights from research in developmental psychology to pedagogy. Kuhn maintains that inquiry and argument should be at the center of a thinking curriculum, a curriculum that makes sense to students as well as to teachers and develops the skills and values needed for lifelong learning. We have only a brief window of opportunity in children's lives to gain or lose their trust the things we ask them to do in school are worth doing. Activities centered on inquiry and argument, such as identifying features that affect the success of a music club catalog or discussing difficult issues like capital punishment, allow students to appreciate their power and utility as they engage in them. In conclusion, from the story about the birds, we see that even nature follows the teaching process of teaching rather than giving. Instead of giving food for a day, it was taught to feed itself. And as Megan was so kind to share, we see that the Spirit will guide us in understanding what is worth teaching. Then our reading assignment, we are shown a process which will help you pass the knowledge worth learning to your class. And we are shown through Deanna Kuhn book that they have that by having your students challenge the information provided, that it will bring further understanding and knowledge to them.